Infinite Frontier, issue 5.
Oh,
Joshua
here we
Williamson
go.
writing with a bunch of artists.
Yes.
A bunch of them. Um, so we've been enjoying this well
Hmm.
enough. It's been doing some interesting multiverse setup for whatever that bastard Williamson's got in his mind for where we're
Yeah.
going. We start off with Psycho Pirate. It's a sort of a flashback to him convincing both Bones and Machine Head to like join his plan. Obviously, Machine Head did the big betrayal last
Right.
issue. And we get introduced to his Injustice incarnate in this issue,
Uh-huh.
which is all the villains that he's put together. Uh, so we get all this. I mean, a lot. This issue is a bit more straightforward. There's a lot less jumping around this
Yep.
issue. It's this version of Bones here who's like explaining stuff to Chase and the JSA, who get partially reunited. Alan and Obsidian meet up with Jade and the others who were on the other ship, and they're all together. Roy's there as well. They know that there must be a speedster involved because whatever they're trying to do is involving the multiverse, and then they
Yep.
spot Barry in the big wheel, and we find out that that mysterious character who was hunting Roy is actually an alternate version of Chase.
What's her name though? We've been over this.
What's her name?
Yeah. You never remember her name.
I don't remember her name. You're right. I
It's
don't.
Extract.
Extract. There you go.
Yeah. Which I thought that was a fun, take that it's a version of her from Bones' original Earth, which would have to be Earth 2, because if that's the original Bones that we see in the,
Mm-hmm.
the Crossbones costume, the high cape
Yeah, the pure
and whatnot.
the goofy Silver Age looking outfit.
Yeah. Also, that page where he yells at Chase and he's in that suit and he goes, "And you messed it all up." I got a genuine laugh out of it.
You
And I
know,
don't know if that's what it was supposed to be, but just that ridiculous look at him yelling in that way.
I think
I
it
just-
is. I think it's like a
yeah.
pulpy kind of like.
Yeah.
I don't think the art in this issue is that good overall because it's just too varied. It's probably got the biggest stretches of just kind of flatness to it. But
Yeah.
I will say the page where you realize that Extract and Chase are just alternate versions of
Mhm.
the same person. I did think I don't necessarily like it that much as a piece of art because I don't necessarily like the line work that much. But I will say it does a really good job of having them have the exact same pose.
Uh-huh.
So that despite the fact that it's different hair, you can totally tell that they're both the same person. So
Right.
so at least the function of what it's supposed to convey does get across. So
I remember when they officially made Power Girl Kara Zor-El from Earth 2, post Infinite Crisis, they did a similar thing when she meets Kara, where Kara goes, now that you mention it, it is kind of like looking in an older mirror. And it was very similar with the poses and the way that they were drawn. It was handled the same way. So I was getting flashbacks to that. Which maybe is the point. Like, we know that Williamson, the other Josh, he's deep into this lore at this point, but yeah, and just the Injustice incarnate, that is a wild assembly of characters.
oh yeah, very cookie. And of course, what's there of the JSA charge and the Green Lanterns make up some constructs of who's not there, just to give us like a sort of JSA splash page, which is fun. We see that inside Barry's head, he's with all the Flash family running with him. So this is obviously the Psycho Pirate manipulation. And we get the big teases though, which are kind of the all these purple chains, like these sort of like shadow chains start to come in. We get like Superman, President Superman breaks out of them in that classic Superman breaks the chains pose.
Cover.
Yeah. That's really
Yeah.
nice stuff. But these chains keep showing up and they keep attacking more and more people and binding them. And it looks like all the Earths and all the multiverse are starting to like slow down. And it's like, okay, so the plan here is to like basically every time there's some sort of crisis, Earth Zero is always at the center of it. It's their fault. So we have to put a stop to all this and save all these other Earths. And Roy actually does this selfless thing here where he realizes that his daughter's not here, but is back on Earth Zero. And essentially has this moment where he accepts that he's going to like let the ring take over. He's going to use it to stop this. And he's just going to trust all the heroes. He's going to trust the JSA. Right. He's going to trust them to go and save her.
Well, yeah, because we find out too that because he's not from Earth Zero, the ring's not from Earth Zero. This is the ring that Batman wore during Death Metal.
That's right. Yeah.
So there's something special about this ring and why it chose him.
And there's kind of an explanation at the end because we hear about the Omega Lantern.
Yeah.
So this is like the Omega ring, I guess. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Well, which when you know that Omega is the last letter in the Greek alphabet, right? And that's why it's Darkseid symbol, because he is inevitable.
Well, alpha,
to borrow a phrase.
Alpha to Omega, right? That's
exactly
usually the thing.
So yeah, Roy being a hero.
Now it doesn't actually seem to work though, because when we get to the last page in Darkseid, because they're all sort of slowly realizing that it's Darkseid's chains that are doing all this, and then the final page when Darkseid's like, with my Omega Lantern by my side, I will control all. So he's trying to take over the entire multiverse. This is Darkseid's biggest play ever. But he actually has Roy in chains. So Roy's not actually went anywhere. He's actually still there. Right. This has not actually had the effect that he was hoping. So big stuff getting into the final issue. It's funny. Like, I think I like what this is doing from what we're doing with the multiverse, what we're doing with the JSA characters. This is maybe a less satisfying issue on its own because it's less mystery and more all the characters are together and monologuing and fighting. So I think in terms of an issue, I like this a little bit less than maybe the last couple issues.
Right, but it is a penultimate issue too. So we're gonna get all the big stuff, I'm sure, in the next one to lead to whatever else Williamson has up his sleeve.
Yeah.
So
I'm thinking what it's doing. I will say that the art's been kind of spotty in this book anyway because it's been so many artists, rotating. But there was no Zermanico section this time, so it felt like the caliber overall was down.
Yeah, I mean it's Pelletier, Marino, and Derenick, and I think Derenick did one of the stories in the Aquaman special too. So yeah, so no Zermanico, but so there's no strong point to the art, but the art's pretty. I mean, for being three artists, it is pretty consistent across the board. I didn't feel like I was getting whiplash.
Consistently just okay, though, is the problem.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. Like, it's not like there's no highs or lows. It's just across the board.
Yeah, I mean, I do love I like the idea of Darkseid manipulating a bunch of characters, basically by saying, if you help me, I will ensure that there's no future crisis that will eliminate you. Because, Psychopirate says that he's from the original Earth 2, and after the original crisis, his Earth just vanished, and he was left stranded. And no one believed him. They put him in Arkham. No one believed him that there was multiple Earths. And so the idea of convincing characters to help Darkseid based on the idea of I will make sure your Earths keep existing, that your Earth will never go away.
And because Machine Head brought up the point that, why is your Earth Zero? Why isn't it our Earth? Why is it what's so about that Earth that causes the ripples across the multiverse? And they're tired of it, which I kind of like that for a crisis. You know?
I mean, obviously, the real answer to that is because it's the one that we read about 99% of the time.
Of course, but the character to ask that,
but the reason why I was saying that is because I didn't realize or I'd forgotten that Calvin's kryptonite is called metanite, and that made me laugh. Given that I know like his creation comes from like Grant Morrison's work and how meta Morrison loves to get, so it stuck out to me. But But I would say it's maybe a little bit of a weaker issue overall, but still digging everything it's doing in terms of all the shenanigans and what I love all these characters being involved, and I'm excited to see where the JSA are landing after all this and what we're doing with Psycho Pirate and all that. So, but I don't suspect that this is going to be the end of the story. I suspect that all this Darkseid stuff is setting up stuff for the future.
Yeah. It's planting seeds. He's been playing with Darkseid for a minute now, since the end of the first Metal, because he had that whole section with Odyssey that kind of fell apart. So
well, I mean, that wasn't his after the first few issues, but
it was his idea. He's still getting story by credits. So whatever he has, this is something I feel like he's had in his brain for a minute. So I'm excited. I just remember how being excited I was when they announced that book, and like Darkseid was gonna have like a Hannibal Lecter vibe Like he was in prison on the ship
we thought
and stuff.
we thought we were going to have Cedric as drawing Jessica Cruz for months and months and months.
Starfire.
And we got 2 issues of it.
Yep. So
that was a shame.
But yeah, whatever it is, I don't feel like it's the end. So
yeah. So that's neat. That's neat. I'm excited to see how this wraps up because there's only one more issue. I think it's just issue 6. It's the last one. So what are you rating Infinite Frontier issue 5?
I'm at 7.5.
Yeah, I was going straight 7. I think on this one. I'm digging it, but overall it was definitely a little bit down quality wise.
So next issue comes out next week, and the only artist that's listed is Zermanico. So
praise be.
yeah.
Praise be.